with all of that, do you have any like regrets, through your journey that if you could do it again, you would do it another way, or the way it went for you is how it's supposed to went?
That was God's plan, man.
All
No
right.
regrets. Any other way, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all right now. That's my opinion about regrets.
All right.
No regrets, man. I wanted to do exactly how it was done so I could sit right here right now and talk and be hyped up about this app release. There's all over my head everywhere, man. I'm getting pulled to so many different angles, but I'm excited too. I think that's the hard part, is trying to enjoy the achievement, because there's like, we launched the app, but man, it was like, we launched the ETF back in February, and we had a little celebration that day. And then the next day, it was like, all right, get back at it.
After work.
We're enough, man.
Dog, they hit me tough too. Cause like we got with the Zoom call. I was like, all right, y'all, put down that laptop, start placing those orders.
Let's go.
We ain't talking about it no more. All that talk y'all saying, put that money down now.
Let's go. Yeah. All that talk. Hey, when we say we got to see something, let's do something. Yeah. So, and our ETF is doing well, man. Like it's doing well. So we're excited. And that the tech that powers our ETF is kind of cool, because that came from God, man. That was out of my head. We own the technology that makes the stock selection and perform the trading. All that is tech that comes out of our house. That's not, something we're licensing or getting from another company. That's internal. That's our what we call our secret sauce. And so to see it performing how it's performing that's exciting for us. So the cool part about our app is the same technology that's powering that ETF is what's going to power this app, right? And the app is different because it's something you could feel and touch, and it's yours, right? So when Bob, when a person downloads our app, we build their stock portfolio organically. So it's not like we're buying something that somebody else owns. What we do is we look at where you are, we meet you where you are financially, we meet you where you are from a suitability risk standpoint, meaning how much money you are trying to make, and how risky you feel you are, based on a questionnaire you fill out when you're setting your app up. And then Bob buys stocks. He buys actual stocks. We're not buying like mutual funds or ETFs in your account. We're buying the actual stocks, and those stocks match where you are. And over time, you have a portfolio that's unique to you. And so you could start with $100, start with 500. You can start with 25 million like our ETF. Bob don't care. Bob ready to go. Bob won't go. He like, hey, we finna change the culture. So bring whatever you got, and all you need is capital. You don't need to understand how to pick a stock or do analysis on picking stocks. You don't have to know how to place a trade or when to buy or when to sell. We've removed all of those barriers to entry, man, and made it as simple as put some money in the account and let Bob do his thing and get yourself exposed to the stock market. And over time, you have that generational wealth to pass on to your family.
So what's the difference, besides being Black owned, what's the difference between Bob and like a Robinhood or like a Webull or some other trading platforms that's out there?
Well, on those platforms, I mean, you have to know how to pick your stocks, and you have to know how to actually go in and trade. And I know it in today's time with social media, sometimes it looks like it's an easy task. But I tell you, man, the success ratio for a person doing that is very low, because the skill set that it takes to do that, it's just different. It's a lot of training that goes behind stock selection and when to buy and when to sell and when to hold. These decisions, the money management that goes into all these are very difficult tasks. And without proper training, you could lose all of your investment funds. And so what Bob does is take all of that over for you, because he's a professional. This is what he does. He does this every day. He has all the time in the world to do this. He's watching it all day. While you're at work, Bob on it. And so with that, that's the difference between the two. That's a unique business proposition we bring to the table. You put $1,000 in your Robinhood account, you have to do something with it. You have to go in personally do something. You put $1,000 in your Bob account, Bob got you. He's gonna pick the stocks. He's gonna trade. He's gonna do everything for you. You don't have to do anything.
Is Bob a person, or these are algorithms that been written over time? Like, is it a person like Bob? Is it a team? They actually doing stuff behind the scenes? Or is it like an algorithm that's been built for many years doing all of this work?
So you're going to get me in trouble with Bob, man. So to me, Bob a person. Me and Bob, we might go out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But nah, man, it's artificial intelligence, right? Okay. It's algos that's running. There, I can give you a little bit, not too much. Can't give away the secret sauce, but it's well trained, right? And it's a well-oiled machine. Wow. I have a lot of faith in it. You know, for me, when I started this journey, like I said, I set out to have something like Bob originally, but I didn't have the experience, the knowledge base to create it then, which was in 2017. But now with how it works and the way that it manages the stock selection, the money management, just the whole experience of it, I'm very comfortable with putting, hey, my dad has a Bob account. You know, he's 66 years old. I'll be opening my grandmother a Bob account this week, and she's 86. And so that's how much faith we have in the product that we can put your more mature audience, because I'm not going to call them older, your more mature audience money there. And we feel very confident that Bob will manage it properly and not put it at risk. So, or at major risk, right? It's always at risk because you're in the stock market, but we focus on capital preservation first. So we want to try to make sure we're protecting that money that you already have first.
How much does a person need to invest in Bob? Like, so if they download Bob, see it in the App Store, Google, wherever they find it, and they want to, you know, invest, like how much do they need to start with their investments inside of Bob?
You know, we recommend you put $100 in there at minimum. You could put 50, 20, but we recommend 100 to let the money management really work for you. It'd be good to start with 100. But you could put as little as $5 in there and he'll buy one stock for you, right? And so, yeah, about $100 is kind of where you want to be to get a good experience starting out. And then you can add to that over as you need, right? And Bob will adjust as you are adding. So he's constantly watching your money. He's constantly watching, you know, how your account is growing and trading accordingly. Yeah. So $100 is where you probably want to be.
So Bob is ready to go right now? Like I could download it?
No. We launch next month. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we might be able to get you some early access, though. You know what I'm saying? You part of the fam. We can get you some early access.
Facts.
I'm going here like, hold on, let me download it right now, man. I'm sleeping. You know, hold on. Let me get it now.
Yeah, we can get you. We can get you a link. We can put you on early.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man. You'll enjoy it, man. Like, we're really excited about it, man. Like I said, man, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother, man, all have Bob accounts, man. Think about that, man. That's an entire Black household who's investing in the stock market, man. Like that just doesn't exist.
Changing the game.
Changing the game, man.
You have your own personalized portfolio, but what are some other cool things about the Bob app?
So something that's like extremely cool is we have a podcast within the app too for educational content. All right. Wait.
So we're like what we doing? Like a podcast?
What we doing, man? Hey, what I tell you about my people, man, we visual people. We like to, you know, we like to talk, we laugh, man. Like we just different. So what would a investment app be without people in the app talking and having fun, man? You know, so that's what we doing. We're gonna put a podcast in, and there'll be different interviews and different things that go on the podcast around business, around finance, around education, around the stock market, man. So we're trying to bridge this thought process. So in our community, you have an extreme left and an extreme right. The extreme left is the stock market is dangerous and lose all my money. The extreme right is I'm gonna get rich today in the stock market. So what we're trying to do is bring knowledge in between that and say the stock market is a process to wealth. It's not one or the other. It's a process. And if done properly, it can be the most lucrative thing that you can prepare for your family. And so you need content and more people talking about that to build comfort and people who look and sound like you, right? And so we want to do that by way of a podcast and just have different topics on there and really just make finance cool, man. Like, we don't want to talk in these terms, these financial terms nobody understands. I want to break it down so that, you know, our culture can get with it and understand and talk about it and know what they can do with it.
So you created Bob. Have you been successful in the stock market, just let alone before Bob?
No, so I lost a lot of money up front, man. So I was perfect too, because I wasn't in the stock market before 2017. I was a real estate person. I was a licensed realtor, so that's what I was in, investing in real estate, and a business on nightclub and all that stuff. And so I wasn't doing the stock market. You know, I wasn't knowledgeable. I actually had this white guy tell me at my homeboy's wedding, the night before his wedding. We were out kind of celebrating and get ready for the wedding or whatever. And the guy told me, he said, if you want to make real money, you must learn the stock market. That was in 2016. And I was just like, I was so big on real estate. I was like, man, no way, man. I'm gonna do these apartment complex. But see, I didn't know about the stock market. And so I'm talking about apartment complexes. He looking at me, I'm like, oh, give me $1 million apartment complex. $1 million, man, the stock market, man. It's just different. That world, the stock market is different.
Yeah.
And so when I got in and started learning it, I saw the possibilities, but I saw all the pitfalls that were set up for you. And so I fell victim to a lot of those pitfalls, man. So I took a lot of hard hits. I happen to be in a profession that's very lucrative, so I could recover quickly from the pitfalls from me. But I know most of my culture, that's not the experience. Like my dad, for example, or my aunts and the people I want to impact, you know, they come from a different generation of working. So they can't take, you know, $20,000 and $30,000 hits like that. That's not healthy for them financially. And so if seeing those pitfalls, I wanted to create something that could protect them from that, but still allow them to participate in the market. And so I think my early on failures were very healthy for me, because it let me be biased in my creation to make sure I build something to protect others so they wouldn't have to experience those type of losses.
The podcast, though, like that's slick, man. Like that's
ain't doing that. Robinhood ain't doing that. E-Trade ain't doing that. That's dope, man. It's dope.
Yeah, man. Now we excited about the podcast, man, because like So one of the things we learned quick was, because Bob does everything, people, when they get in, they load their account, they're like, okay, now what I do? like, is he working? Like, because they're so used to what's in the market, you know, the way everything else works is because so everybody's getting paid. So if you think about your stash or your Betterment or your Wealth Fund, these are other robo-advisor.
What's a robo-advisor?
So a robo-advisor is software that takes a questionnaire from you and then picks from a bucket of predefined trading models. So a trading model is a set of ETFs in the robo-advisory space. So what they do is they'll have one that's, let's say, moderate or conservative or moderate conservative, like just a large mix of them. And when you complete your questionnaire, they pick the one that you're most likely to match to, and then put all your money in that. And they do that day one. All right. That's your average robo-advisor. Well, the flaw in that model is, let's say you had signed up on last Friday, right? And they put your money in one of those models. Well, today you'd be feeling really bad because the stock market sold off like crazy yesterday. And that's the problem with cookie cutter models, is that they don't consider time. They don't consider where the market is. It's just like, okay, well, we're just gonna put you in there, and they don't meet you where you are. And so for us, we were adamant about not putting you in cookie cutter models, but creating one that's specific to you. And so as a robo advisor, that's more like what we are. We blend what you would experience on a Robinhood by buying the different stocks, but in a way like you're using a robo advisor. So it's a very hybrid, unique situation that just doesn't exist. And so it's like we have created lights before there were no lights. And so people are looking like, well, what do I do? Like, they don't understand that it's nothing for them to do. And so what we wanted to do for retention purposes, because if there's nothing for you to do, then you kind of forget. And so for retention purposes, we like, man, look, we want to do content creation within the app. And we thought a podcast was the best way to do that for our culture, because we like visual. So videos, we like voice, we learn really well both ways. And so we didn't want to present education in a written fashion, because we just, as a culture, we learn better by listening and seeing. That's just how we move. We're just physical people. And so we didn't want to present education in a written format. We wanted to present in a way that we know our culture be comfortable with. So you might hear on some of our podcasts, you might hear some Nipsey Hussle playing. You might hear some Dolph. Dolph. You're going to see and feel what you look and feel like and be comfortable in finance. Like, we believe we can build a great following with that attitude and get more of us exposed to the greatness of this finance industry.